All right, it's Thursday, October 31st. Just wanted to follow up on the SPY. You can see here after having a big move down in the morning where I bought puts early and described how I scaled out along the way. It did have its orderly pullback, and then the 2 up, 2 down day took it to the lows of the day. So there was a brief secondary trade here, and I don't really necessarily see this as a reversal here, although it's possible that this could be it for the day after 2 pushes and we just kind of settle in here. It almost looks like this is just a little bit of a pause at the lows of the day that might want to continue even lower. Obviously, on the big red day down here, we hit our first target, and we still have another target down here. And on the weekly chart, we're still looking for this area to be hit, whether it ends up, going there by the end of the week, or if this week this closes red, that you kind of expect follow through lower into these targets. So until this weekly chart changes to the upside, you're biased down, and that's going to have to first happen on the daily chart after this big push down. If this closes red, you kind of expect the lows of the days to be tested in some form tomorrow. So unless something drastic happens here in the next hour and a half to the upside to really reverse this, the bias is still to the downside, but we'll see what happens. I just wanted to follow up and show that there was the initial trade to the downside, the expected pause, the second push down. That's kind of what you look for structure on this type of day. And I can see this, like I said, just kind of holding here and grinding lower all day long. We'll see, as long as this high kind of holds, you're still biased down even for the rest of the day. I decided to even do a secondary trade on Microsoft. I picked, there were a bunch of stocks to consider, but this one kind of worked a little lower and then paused, and then it's not really getting to the lows of the day, so I decided to exit it. So this day for me has been a nice trade on the SPY, which I'm still holding on to some of it. I bought some 585 puts at 10.11. I scaled out at 12.20, 13.20, 14.20. Then I bought some SPY puts at 11.40. I scaled out at 12.25, and I exited the trade at 11.72, the remaining half of it. So just a very small gain there. I don't feel like overdoing it to the downside. There's a lot of options. Microsoft is still heading lower and probably will still take out the lows of the day in delayed fashion. The SPY now you can see is making another push. Like I said, this price action is not really the reversal price action that generally happens at a low, so I'm not surprised it's continuing lower here, so I'm still holding on to that. We'll see where it goes. The big picture is still down to this lower blue line. So I just wanted to follow up on the SPY and kind of show you that in fact it did make its secondary push down, and if you somehow missed this trade early on, there was another good trade to the downside here, and it's continuing even lower. So we'll see what happens. I can see those options that I bought at 10, 11 are already asking 15.65 on the downside. So, definitely continuing lower. Very good trade getting puts in early this morning once you kind of understood the context that was in play and the potential to the downside.